Good morning, students. In this video, we'll be discussing the chapter decimals. And so the first topic that you have in this chapter is decimal fraction. So decimal fraction, what is a decimal fraction? So children, suppose if you have a number, suppose you have a fraction 5 upon 3. Okay, it's a improper fraction, not a problem. But if I ask you what is a decimal fraction, so a decimal fraction would be, if you have 5, if you have 3 and below 3 the denominator is 10. So as you can see here, the denominator is a 10. If you have 7, the denominator is 100. Or if you have 9, if the denominator is 1000. Or if you have 97 and if the denominator is 10. So all these fractions have one thing in common, that the denominator is 10 or a power of 10. So all these fractions are called decimal fractions. So these are all decimal fractions. So what is a decimal fraction? A fraction whose denominator is 10 or a power of 10. So the next topic that you have, children, here is tenths. So children, what are tenths? The fraction 1 by 10 names a number 1/10. Suppose if you have a fraction 1 upon 10. So this gives the name as 1/10. And this fraction can also be written as 0.1. Similarly, all these fractions that we had here, this can be written as 0.3, this can be written as 0.07, this can be written as 0.009, and this can be written as 9.7. So 1/10 is what? 0 upon 0.1. So, and this point is called your decimal. Okay, children. So what is 1/10? The fraction 1/10 names the number, this number, as 1/10. The fraction 1 by 10 names the number 1/10. So the name of this fraction is your 1/10, and it can also be written as 0.1. Decimals. The numbers written in decimal form are called decimal numbers or decimals. So they can be called as decimal numbers or simply decimal. Suppose 0.5, 0.9, 0.762, 9.9, 2.75. So these are all your decimals or decimal numbers. So the next topic that we have, children, in this year is hundreds. HUNDREDTHS, hundreds. We have already discussed tens, now we will be discussing hundreds. And in tens, we had tens were 0.1, but in hundreds it will be 0.01. That means two numbers are after the decimals. In tens, how many numbers were there after decimal? Only one digit was there. But here in hundreds, there will be two digits after the decimal. So on the right hand side of the decimal, suppose 0.01 is your number. So this is your right hand side, this is your left hand side. So on the right hand side of the decimal, there will be two digits. So these are called hundreds, or it can be also written as 1 upon 100. This is also equal to 0.01. So children, some examples. Suppose you have a number 55 upon 100. So this can be written as 0.55. How many digits after the decimal? Two digits after the decimal. Now we have thousands. THOUSANDTHS. So 100 were, tens were 0.1, tens were TNTHs 0.1. After that we had hundreds, so 0.01. Now we have children 1000, and thousands will be 1 upon 1000. That means 0.001. So how many numbers after the decimal? There are 3 digits after the decimal. On the RHS you have 3 digits. So these are called children thousands. So if you have, so this 1 upon 1000 equals to 0.001. Suppose if you have a number, for example, you have 0.019. So this is what? 1 upon 9. This will be 19, and how many digits are there? 1 2 3, so 3 digits. So this is also 0.019, 3 digits after the decimal. So once tens is 1 digit after the decimal, then you have hundreds, 2 digits after the decimal, then you have thousands, that is 3 digits after the decimal, children. So now some important things to note here, children. Our decimal has two parts. And what are those parts? Suppose you have a decimal 43.692. So this part before the decimal is your whole number part, and this part after the decimal is called decimal number part. This is called whole number part, and this is called decimal part. Okay, so children, on to the right you have decimal part, on to the left you have your whole number part. Now the number of digits contained in the decimal part of a decimal gives the number of its decimal places. So here you have the number is 43.692. So there are 3 digits after decimal. So this will be 3 digits after decimal. This will be ones. You have tens, hundred, then you have thousand. So this will be in thousands because it has 3 decimal places. Okay. Now you have like decimals. And what is like decimals, children? Like decimals is simply decimals having the same number of decimal places are called like decimals. For example, 0.5, 1.7, 2.3, 4.5. So these are all like decimals, or 0.01, 0.02, 2.23, 5.52. All these numbers, these are all like decimals. These are like decimals. How? The number of digits after the decimals are same. So these are called, children, like decimals. And the last one you have is your unlike decimals. And unlike decimals is simply when the number of digits after the decimal are not same. Suppose 0.3, 5.21, 6.663, or 10.703, etc. These are all examples of unlike decimals. Now, children, we have place value and decimals. So children, place value and decimals. Suppose, children, you have a number in, like in your text you have given 9999.999. So children, the place value of this number you have here, like in the previous system we have studied, this is your ones, this is tens, this is hundred, this is your thousand, that we have discussed in the previous chapter in the numbers and in negative number in the first chapter numbers. Now here in decimal, this part is called, children, tens, this part is called hundreds, and this part is called thousands. So tens, hundreds and thousands, children. Okay, that means this 9, this number 9 has how many zeros below this? There will be only one zero. For this, you will be having 2, and for 1000 you will be having 3. Suppose similarly 9 in 0. So you have a number, for example 9 upon 1000. So it will be 0.009. 3 zeros, 3 digits after the decimal. Suppose you have 9 upon 10 to the power 4. That means 9 upon 4 zeros. So that gives us 0.0009, 4 digits after the decimal. So children, in this system, in the decimal system, the place value of a digit is decreased 10 times from left to right. So 9 here is 0.9, this is 0.09, this is 0.009, children. Children, that you have is expanded form of a decimal, expanded form. So children, here you have an example in your textbook is 7.895. So children, this can be written as 7 plus 8 upon 10 plus 9 upon 100 plus 5 upon 1000 equal to, so this is your whole number part. So 7 into 1 plus, now this will be your decimal part, 8 into 1 upon 10 plus 9 into 1 upon 100 plus 5 into 1 upon 1000. So this will be 7 plus 0.8 plus 0.09 plus 0.005, and on adding you will get the same number, 7.895. So this is your expanded form of the number, and there is one more step in between here. There is one more step. I will be writing this here. This will be 7 into 1 plus 8 into 0.1 plus 9 into 0.01 plus 5 into 0.001. So this is your expanded form of 7.895. Simple. Whole number 7 into 1, 8 is your is at tens place, so 8 into 0.1, 1/10. 9 is at your hundreds place, so 9 into 0.01 plus 5 into 0.001. Next topic that we have is reading decimal numerals. So children, reading decimal numerals, how do we do this? Suppose you have a number 0.047 and another is 19.6. So children, or in one more example, we can take 125.05. So children, this number will be read as this 19.65. This whole number part will be read as 19, but the number after the decimal that you have is this part 65. This won't be written as this, you will not read it as 65, you will not be reading it as a whole number, you will be reading it as 19.65. So 19.65, this will be, you have 0, then you have decimal, then 0, then 47. So this will not be read as a whole number, this will be read as 0.047 is written as, read as point 047. So point this 047. Here you have 125.05. And children, this is the conventional method of reading the numbers. Now you have 0.65. So 0.65 is basically 65 upon 100, and that means 65 hundreds. 65 hundreds, or 0.65. 65 hundreds or 0.65. One more example that we can look into is 6.804. This will be written read as 6.804. So this will be the topics that we will be discussing today. Thank you, class.